Hi, everybody. Very good afternoon. I believe we have more people joining in. Perfect. Hi, welcome all to all our audience. And to quickly start with the event, we have already been familiar and we've already been very well familiar with the event We Connect, which is an initiative by Westford University College, which is aimed at building a connection between the inspirational industry professionals like we have one today, which we see on screen. I'll soon introduce, who would share real life scenarios by discussing industry trends, performance, and across the modern day organizations in a very fun, engaging manner. That's what we are expecting today. And of course, with very interactive sessions. Our goal is to bring together the brighter minds to give talks that are idea focused on a very wide range of subjects. And along with fostering the learning, inspiration, and most importantly, wonder on the most recent concepts. Like we were just talking a little while back about bridging the gaps of industry and academia, we connect as the platform. And therefore, on behalf of Westford University College, I, Dr. Arpita, would want to welcome you all to this interactive session. The best part today is that the topic of the discussion today is very relevant and absolutely to reflect on resilient leadership and how to lead, thrive, and change. I thought before I hand over the platform, let me see what this resilience is all about. In the words of Henry, the historic challenge for leaders is to manage the crisis while building the future. Let's see what a speaker would have to say for this. Resilient leaders have the ability to sustain their energy level under pressure, cope with disruptive changes, and adopt to it. They bounce back from the setbacks. They also overcome the major difficulties without engaging in any dysfunctional behavior. So it's a very crucial characteristic of high performing leaders. And with this COVID, we need a lot of responsibility for helping to protect the energy of the people in their teams. And that is why this has given us a challenge to share its own experience and demanded resilience and stronger organizational mindset in order to build the trust for better future. And that is why today we have one such leader, very inspirational, who is a natural entrepreneur, startup enthusiast, and venture capitalist. And currently, he holds the role of CEO at Talabat. Very inspirational, Mr. Tomaso Rodriguez. Let me introduce you a little. With extensive experience across the world, he is responsible for ramping up Talabat's presence in Middle East and building his strategic partnerships. He has also joined Talabat from Singapore-based Grab, Southeast Asia's market, leading super app and most valuable startup. He headed GrabFood division and grew the food delivery business from the city to 200 in just 18 months. Previously, he was the head of UberEATS, which is regional operations, APAC, based in Singapore, and having earlier worked as general manager Italy and Greece of the global car hailing app. An accomplished technology executive, entrepreneur, he started his career as an investor at 360 Capital Partners, a European fund with $500 million under its management. He had also founded a startup, AgencyManagement, in Italy, which has since been sold to a top international consumer goods company. So his focus has always been building new strategic partnerships, expanding into new offline to online ventures. This is wow. And I'm also, this is something which I have not thought of saying, but yeah, that's the journey of success at a very young age, I should say. Probably that's what we would talk of. And therefore, before I hand over the platform to Mr. Tomaso, I again welcome all our audience. We would definitely be hearing from you. So therefore, let me recap you through all. We'll use the chat box here to communicate, to say hello, to whatever you want to speak on. You will use the question and answer section to drop in your question. Once Mr. Tomaso has given his address, I will take your questions to him and make sure everything is answered. This is how we are going to flow across. So Q&A, let's keep at the end, and let's keep all our ears for the man today. All over to you, Mr. Tomaso. Stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arpita, for the. I'm very humbled by the super kind introduction. Now I really hope to live up to the expectations.
Absolutely.
And I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak.
Over to you completely.
Yeah, thank you, and hi everyone that is joining us. Can I quickly see? I'm just very curious. I know we have people from all over the world. Can you just like write down where you're, connecting from, just for me to know? I see Qatar, Kuwait, Dubai, Sri Lanka, UAE, India, Nigeria. Wow, like really everywhere. Sharjah. Fantastic. We have people from all over the world. I'm very excited. Thank you very much for attending. So I prepared just few slides, and I would just very quickly talk very fast about Talabat, but I want to make this very interactive. I have some polls as well along the way. This picture you see here was taken in one of our first Talabat Mart, which is our dark store concept, is the new baby at Talabat right now, which I'm going to talk about, and something we're very excited. But before we jump into that, I just want to quickly, maybe the best way to introduce Talabat is just to show you a very short 30-second commercial that came up after our big refresh. So we did a big rebranding campaign that is like both in the in the visuals, but also in the whole customer experience. This happened all last year, and the output of this was this campaign. I would just share the video, just last 30 seconds, if you bear with me.
We've known each other for a long time. We grew up together. Now we've hit the refresh button. You tap and we bring the coffee that makes your day. And not just that, but your groceries. Yeah, we deliver that now too. Whatever you need, we're right there every single day. Done. We'll be with you when your friend needs flowers or when your family's out of milk. We've brightened our colors so when you use Talabat, you're looking at the best. With you, we are the best. As we grow together, we get better. That's the rhythm of life. Talabat, your everyday, right away.
Cool. Yeah, this just really the transformation we've been going through in the last year, that is from a food delivery company to really delivering everything, right? And that's why our new tagline is your everyday right away. So just super quickly, I think very few people know that Talabat is a company that's been around for 16 years, right? It's not a new company in the region, but it's been around for 16 years, and it was born originally in Kuwait. So an idea of like from three co-founders in Kuwait to connect, making food ordering easy for restaurants to connect with the customers, right? So we expanded in Saudi, UAE, Bahrain, Oman, and really Talabat is one of the very first tech companies in the region, and one of the very first food delivery companies in the world, actually. That's why in 2015, Delivery Hero, that is a publicly listed company in Germany, that owns many food delivery brands across the world, decided to acquire Talabat in 2015. We pushed very hard, expanded into new countries in Jordan, and now we are in 8 markets. And in 2018, we celebrated our 100 million orders, But what's very interesting is that today, 2019, 2020, we're doing hundreds of millions of orders per year, right? So the growth has been really, really, truly exceptional. Lately, we've been expanding in many new verticals, especially groceries, and few concepts like kitchens and dark stores that I'm gonna quickly touch base upon. In the region, we are in GCC, Jordan, and Egypt, total 8 countries, 2 million active customers across Minna, around 2,000 plus employees. And I think what I'm very, very proud of at Talabat is our diversity. We have employees from 82 different countries, right? So we strongly believe that diverse team really help us achieve further objectives and grow much faster, right? With more diverse opinions and more challenging discussions internally to become better every day. In 2020, last year, we hired 700 employees in 2020 alone. So kind of we're really growing and really investing in the region a lot. Quick commerce is something we really believe in, and I'm going to talk about it very soon. Cloud kitchen, we made some investments in the region. We have several kitchens. For who's not aware of like what cloud kitchens are some spaces that are optimized for food preparation. Inside these spaces, we have 30, 50 different brands. And we only do delivery. There's no dine-in, and everything is optimized to the second to ensure super, super fast preparation time. If you order from a cloud kitchen, you can get your food delivered in 15 minutes. We think delivery is going to evolve. We believe in drone deliveries. There's something coming up, and that we're very excited about. Fintech and new payment methods. And we are also keeping a close eye on sustainability, which we believe is a very important topic for the sustainability of the business itself. Just in numbers, food delivery business is a $107 billion market in 2019. Expectations for it to more than triple the size in the next 10 years, so to get to 365 billion USD market. Okay, then I'm just gonna start here, and we're offering, for those of you who are Talabat customers, 100 dirhams for who knows how are these 2 items linked, Red Bull and bananas. What are your hypotheses? Show me in the chat. How are they linked? Favorite snack midday, potassium, energy boosters, consumer goods, energy, a lot of proteins. Kamal got it right. It's breakfast. So the most ordered items for breakfast in our Talabat marts, that are our dark stores, are Red Bull and bananas. This is really the breakfast of champions that we see across Minna are the 2 most ordered items for breakfast. So Kamal, congratulations, you win 100 dirhams credit for Talabat. So what is T-Mart? T-Mart is our first quick commerce concept. It's our grocery shop, and you can see some pictures here on the left. It's a grocery store that is fully optimized for fast picking of the items. We get an order, we have pickers inside these shops that get the items in order of like picking, and they're super fast at taking them, bring it to the storefront, a driver comes in, and they deliver in 20-30 minutes, right? So you can really do your groceries extremely, extremely fast. You can use it for convenience, you can use it for groceries, you need toothpaste, or you want to do your weekly groceries, you can do both, right? Because we have more than 5,000 SKUs. To give you an idea, a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven would have something around 1,000, 2,000 SKUs. A big hypermarket like a Carrefour we have something around 10,000 SKUs, right? So I think with 5,000, we solved 90% of the consumer demand. We want to push it to 99%. We want to add more SKUs, but today is already a very, very good value proposition. Very good prices and promotions, because we use our CapEx very well, our retail space very well. We can offer very, very good prices. You pay very easily credit card or cash or wallet. And the amazing thing about Talabat Mart, we're open 24/7. So you wake up 4 a.m. in the morning, you want a snack, you want really absolutely anything, you need soap to wash your hands, like you just order on Talabat Mart and you get it delivered in 20 minutes. So Talabat Mart is our first step into what we call quick commerce. We believe quick commerce will be the natural evolution of e-commerce. So if you look at this table here, we look at the first generation commerce, that is like you go to the malls and you buy something. So it's self-service. You have a lot of products available. You go to Emirates Mall or something like that. You have to go with your own car to a superstore, and usually it's for 3-4 people household, the general use case. And you know what matters the most to consumers is discounts. I think a few decades ago, we moved to second generation e-commerce, your Amazon, your Noon, et cetera, right? So the delivery usually is in 2-3 days. You have main products available more and more over time. They use delivery trucks, and they deliver from some mega warehouses that are in dispersed areas of the city. What we believe as Talabat, the e-commerce will evolve into is what we call quick commerce. So we deliver in less than 1 hour, a smaller selection probably compared to the e-commerce, delivered with 2 wheels with riders from local stores that are distributed around the cities, and usually for first single person households. And speed becomes a very, very key value proposition to that. So the first step for us to get into quick commerce is Talabat Mart, so our dark stores, and later on we want to expand into all the other categories, and we think this will be the future of the commerce industry. So another question: how many kgs of oranges do you think we sold in Talabat Mart since COVID started? Vitamin C booster. Other 100 dirhams credits for who gets it. 983 kg, enough is so detailed. 2 kg, 200, 10, 100 kg, 1000 kg. 2 tons, 8,000. 5,000, 800. 1,200, 1,500, 500,000, Winnie. Wow. All right, so let's see. I don't know who got closer. Maybe we check afterwards, but 3 million tons, Fatima. Wow, I wish. All right. 70,000 kgs equals to 500,000 oranges. T-Mart is always amazing for your fresh produce. We sell a lot of fresh produce through T-Mart. This is really the top selling category, right? All right. So question for you guys. What are the most ordered dishes for food delivery in Minna? What do you think? Pizza, shawarma, burger, desserts, pizza, shawarma, tabbouleh, pizza, tea. Chinese takeout, KFC, biryani, all fast food. Okay. All right. So fries and chicken. So every type of chicken is like a favorite. Be it burger, be it something else. and fries. People really love fries. So in UAE and Oman, we see a lot of spicy chicken meals. And Kuwait, the favorite, absolute favorite, is the chicken royale. And Bahrain, like surprisingly enough, chicken pasta is the most ordered dish. Qatar, Saudi, Jordan, and Egypt, all French fries. That's the number one item. And nothing really changes during Ramadan, right? So I have a poll for you, which is UAE. Do people drink more Coke or more Pepsi? Where Coke 57, Pepsi 43, 58. 5 more seconds. Okay, I closed the poll. So Coke 57, where is it? Where can I see? Oh, close. Yeah, Coke 57, Pepsi 43. But unfortunately, you guys are wrong. UAE is a Pepsi country. People love Pepsi more. Yeah. And then I have another poll for you that is, which is the country that loves pizza most? UAE is 50%, followed by KSA so far, Egypt, Kuwait, Qatar. I think you're saying UAE because most of you are based in UAE. Okay, I'm gonna close the poll. So it's 52% UAE followed by 18% KSA, 14% Egypt, but it's actually Jordan. Jordanians really love their pizza. The average meal is a 3 pizza order. So Jordanians really go crazy for their pizza. Okay, so I have last question that is, I'm Italian. I don't know if I told you, and there's something I cannot really tolerate, that is pineapple on pizza. So my question, one thing I wanted to dig into is like, are people ordering pineapple on pizza or not? So last year, our customers in Minna ordered 4.2 million pizzas. What percentage do you think had pineapple on top? So was Hawaiian pizza. You can vote. Oh, you guys do love pineapple, huh? 49% says 10 to 50% of pizzas had pineapple on top. 12% says more than 50%. Wow. Is there anybody who doesn't like pineapple? Can you write it on the chat? Not a good combination. Thank you, Altim. There should be a law against that. Thank you very much. Great. So let me close it. Actually, I'm very thankful because the answer is less than 1% had pineapple, right? So we're still safe. But you guys thought it was like 47% of you thought that 10 to 50% of pizzas had pineapple on top. Good. Last thing, what do you think was the favorite dish during New Year's Eve? On the New Year's Eve night, what did people order? You can write on the chat. What was the favorite one? Sushi. Pizza, KFC. Sad meal. Osama, why sad meal? Yeah. Guys, I have to tell you, I mean, the right percentage is less than 1%. Less than 1% pineapple on pizza. Okay, so I have to tell you, nothing really changed during New Year's Eve. Like, people order chicken and fries still. And last question, what do you think when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're hungry in the Minna region, what do you order? Good job, Sami. It's still chicken and fries. Absolutely. Chicken and fries dominates the orders in Minna. Yeah. So I think these were just some quick facts, but you know, the reason why I'm showing them to you is because we use all these insights and analytics in all the cities we operate in all the countries we operate in, area by area, to really understand how customers behave and what are they looking for. If there are gaps in the markets, we can fill these gaps with new brands. If we can help brands expand to new locations to fill those gaps, right? So the data analytics area for us is super, super important, super, super huge. All right, another thing we're doing this year, it was supposed to happen in October, but it will happen next year. We are going to be partners with Expo. We're going to have our own pavilion at Expo, where we're going to showcase the future of food, the future of kitchens, you know, robotics applied to kitchens, and, you know, how to create, you know, super efficient preparation in the food industry, as long as having innovative distribution tools and a kind of an innovative pickup, contactless pickup that we're gonna distribute around Expo. So it's gonna be very exciting. I invite all of you guys, if you wanna join us, to visit us at Expo next October. Last but not least, I think sustainability is super important for us. We are trying to remove the usage of cutleries as much as we can. Today on Talabat, we prefer partners with sustainable cutleries. We give as a first option to our customers not to have cutleries, and they have to opt in if they really want cutleries with their deliveries. And biodegradable bags. So all our dark stores, T-Marts, only use biodegradable bags. As our parent company, Delivery Hero, also invested in 4 different companies in the sustainable world. Biolutions, which does disposable, biodegradable cutleries, Just, that solves a very, very huge problem, that is eggs consumption, that is very, very harmful for the environment. And this is a plant-based eggs. Wise Food, that creates edible straws, and Impossible Food, that I think you guys know, produce plant-based meat, right? So we really look after this area of the industry. We believe this will become more and more important, and we are investing and innovating at the same time as Talabat and as Delivery Hero. What happened during COVID, I think being a truly local player, it's very important that we also support the communities we live in. I think we've been very, very active during COVID. We deliver around 150,000 food and medicines for chronically ill patients that could not get out of home, for free. We help the government do that, and we're very proud of these achievements. And also, I think for Lebanon, what happened is like a very, very sad. And I think we did a big campaign where we told all our users that all the profits on a certain day for lunch would have been donated to Lebanon. And it was a huge success. A lot of people ordered, and the campaign was Lunch for Lebanon. And we donated all the profits, and on top of that, Talabat added around $150,000 and donated to the Red Crescent, right? So I think it's very, very important what we believe in when you're a local player to truly serve and help the communities we're in. I think that's it for the presentation. Sorry, I think it was a bit too long, Arpita, I think over to you.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, it's quite a technical glitch. So moving on, question from Mr. Amruthaj Rajan. He's asking, Mr. Tomaso, what motivates you?
What motivates me? Well, a lot of things. What I think the biggest challenge when you are a CEO of quite a large company like Talabat is there's a book I suggest you guys to read, which is The Hard Thing About Hard Things from Horowitz. For all of you that want to become entrepreneurs, that's absolutely a book you have to read. And it tells a very fascinating, he's an entrepreneur. He's been like through ups and downs. He was almost bankrupt many times. And then he managed to sell his company for billions, like going through a lot of struggles, right? And what he says is that when you're the CEO, you're usually people who are straight A students get to become CEOs, right? And so you're used to excellency in studies and everything you do. But when you're a CEO, you would rate yourself something like 20 out of 100 because of the many things you see every day that are broken across your company, not for anyone's fault, but because just you cannot fix everything, right? So it's very hard to live with that 20%, while no one tells you that probably the global average of CEOs is something between 15 and 30%, right? So you have to live with that. You have to live with the idea that you have a lot of challenges. And what I think motivates me every day is really knowing where we're going, like kind of having a vision and knowing what we're doing for our communities, for our customers, building amazing products. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which wrote The Little Prince, if you guys read it when you were kids, said that if you want people to build a ship, you don't have to drum them and like to collect the woods and stick it together, but you have to tell them how to dream sailing in the sea, right? So I think that's what motivates me, like kind of building a vision that all our employees buy into and feel extremely motivated into believing in and pushing very hard to make it happen.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That book, I think we all have to read it. We need to pin that the name here. Next question we have is, what would you say you've done to ensure safety and well-being or adequate compensation for the delivery riders?
Yeah. So we, since COVID, we adopted a lot of safety measures, like the most obvious one, like masks and gloves and contactless delivery enabled to all the users by default. Pushing for cashless payments more than cash, ensuring that our restaurant partners we do audits to make sure that social distancing is observed, etc. In our T-Mart shops, we also check temperatures of the riders every time they come in, etc. In terms of, I think there was also a question around the payment schemes of the riders.
Compensation, yeah.
Compensation of the riders. So the compensation of the riders is a very big topic. We benchmark across standards across the countries to make sure we are always above minimum wages and making sure riders have adequate compensations. The way we look at it is like doing the deliveries the rider does, because a rider get incentivized by number of deliveries they do plus a hourly compensation. We make sure that the sum of the two is well above what would be needed to earn to make an honest living, right? And the riders that do more, actually, if they wanna push a bit harder, they can make more money, right? So it's kind of a micro entrepreneurial job where you can earn as much as you want based on how much commitment you wanna do. Of course, we also look at the number of hours they work. They cannot work above a certain amount of hours for their own safety, but we make sure the compensation is fair.
Next question. What are your main concerns regarding the delivery services? Because she's having to managing the logistics and delivery company in KSA. Concerns regarding the delivery services.
Concerns? Well, I mean, this is a huge question, but what we are very focused on is, if I have to look at the customers, is delivery time, which is not entirely dependent on our logistics service. Like a piece of that is, of course, the logistics service, but a piece of that is also vendor preparation times, right? So to make sure that the vendor prepare. So we have a very sophisticated algorithm that when you place an order, he understands how far the closest rider is and when is the right moment to send the order to the vendor to make sure the food is just ready when the rider gets there, right? So there's a lot of product and tech optimization that goes into refining these algorithms every day to provide the best possible delivery time to the customers, right? So this is, I would say, this is really the main focus. And there are a lot of considerations around also, for example, delivery areas. How further do we want to deliver from a restaurant based on the quality of food that the customer can receive when he gets it and availability of restaurants in that area? But, it is a really huge topic. But, if you want to summarize in one thing, it's really delivery time is our obsession. Yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Amina. Next question is very interesting, a little different though. What time do you wake up? Is the 5 a.m. CEO thing true?
I think it really depends person by person, really depends on how many hours you need to sleep. That there are people who say that they sleep 4 hours, 5 hours, and then I always check Fitbits when they say that, and it's absolutely not true. Like maybe sleep 8, 9 hours, right? So I think today we live in a world where it's cool to say that you just sleep a couple of hours a night, right?
True.
I always get a very good and sound sleep, and I suggest you guys don't, cut corners on that. It's very important. If I don't, my mind will be very blurred.
Absolutely. I think that's very important. True. Very true.
What I do though, every single morning exercise. Before going to the office, I exercise 1 hour. I usually wake up around 7, exercise 1 hour, then go to the office. Yeah.
That's excellent. I think that's something many of us would have to learn.
My MBA, the first thing they told me is being healthy before being wealthy, and I think that's extremely important.
That's the takeaway today.
Yes.
Being healthy before being wealthy, please. This is again an interesting question from Zainab. What do you feel which is related to Talabat? Any fear related to Talabat?
What do I feel? Well, I feel extremely proud. I feel extremely proud of our team because what they achieved this year, I think, has been phenomenal. Especially during the pandemic. Pandemic has been a very, very tough period for us. I think across the world, many tech companies benefited from the pandemic. For us, it was a mixed bag of results because we had a lot of curfews around the region. For example, in Kuwait, we were not allowed to operate at all. Same in Jordan, same in Egypt for some time, right? So we kind of lost a lot of business during the pandemic. But we deliver so many things in terms of product, in terms of logistics, in terms of sales, the way we also helped our restaurant partners. We delayed all their commission payments for several months in terms of putting together the processes for contactless delivery, for the safety of the riders, for helping the community with the government, etc. So if I have to summarize it in one word, would be proud. I'm extremely proud of what we achieved this year as a company.
Wow. I'm sure many of us, as I can see some of questions rising up, what would be your leadership mantra for the new people joining in the positions? And you are also like very inspirational, young. What is your leadership mantra?
Not sure entirely on a mantra, but what I would say, there's some key learnings, right, that I think are very important to make very early in your career. And the first one that I learned very late was feedback, right? I think it's very important that you learn how to accept feedback and to provide feedback to everyone.
Right.
And it's not just on on the job, but it's also in your personal life, right? I remember there was one time when I was at Uber, and I was very young, and I was very I don't know, I had a big ego probably or something like that. And I was always complaining to my manager. I always thought my manager was horrible. I could do a much better job than she could. And several times I went complaining to the manager of my manager, right? About what he told me, that something that really stuck in my mind forever was, do you know that every time you point a finger to someone, you're pointing 3 fingers at you?
Yeah,
right?
true.
At yourself, right? So that's when I learned. Then when I started to give feedback to her, and then she started to give feedback to me. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't believe in what she's saying, and that's not true, etc. But then I started thinking, okay, even if I don't believe that, why does she have that perception of me, right? And when you start asking yourself those questions, you really start understanding how can you improve yourself, and how can and if you take feedback very well, if you develop on that, you're gonna accelerate your career, I promise, big time. So
that's big. Yeah.
Provide and get feedback. The other one is don't always think at your career as an upward stream and upward movement, right? Best I made in my career was like through lateral moves, right? So always have very clear what you want in your life, and then work it backwards. Where do you want to be in 10 years? You think about it. You probably know where you want to be in 10 years. But guess what? If you don't have a plan, if you don't do anything to get there, 10 years will pass very fast, right?
True.
So
very true.
Plan and work backwards, like to where you want to get. And sometimes you need to move geographies, move laterally. In the last I moved 5 geographies, and I had at least 3 or 4 lateral moves, right? They were not necessarily up moves. So always think about your life plan and your life goals.
That's very, very, very insightful. So being healthy, making sure feedbacks are in place, making sure what you plan for a few years ahead. I think a lot of us are taking much of strong pointers with us today. Another I would feel that I can read, I'm summarizing a few of the questions so that we can answer. Now this is going back to your own journey. Like, what was it that you decided? What was your path that you took which made you reach here today? Your style of leadership, as we say, resilience. What was your path that you decided, and then you landed up where you are today? I'm sure many of us are interested to know that.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what I said, right? So frankly, it was a bit different than what I planned, because I always want to be an entrepreneur. And actually, when I graduated, actually during my last 2 years of uni, that's what I did. I started my own company. I had it for 5 years, and then I sold it. But then I felt, okay, I can start another company, or maybe I can try to learn what I made wrong, right? And that's why when I joined venture capital, like to see, okay, maybe let me. And venture capital is an amazing learning job, because you meet so many entrepreneurs. I was meeting something like 300 entrepreneurs a year, and investing in 10 companies a year, right? So the cool thing about that is that they come with the idea, and they think that that's the thing that's going to change the world and change their life completely. And you have to know very fast if that's one of the 1% of deals you're going to invest in, or the 99% you're not going to invest in. And so you ask the most harsh questions to kill their ideas, right? So it's a huge clash, but you learn so much from so many inspiring people.
Absolutely.
But really, and then I discovered that maybe I don't want to have my own company, but I want to lead a big company, right?
Right.
And every single step, for example, I joined Uber. Uber was a very early stage company when I joined. I think I was employee number 120 or something like that. And it was very an attractive employer. I remember when I had the discussion with my dad, and I was like, Dad, I'm joining this company. And it was like, so you're moving from finance to managing drivers? Is that what you do? And I was like, yes, but it's a huge opportunity and blah blah blah. And back then Uber was just black cars. They didn't have the UberEATS concept yet, the ride-hailing concept. It was like very unattractive. No one wanted to work for Uber, but I truly believed in the company, and I knew it was early stage. I knew it could grow a lot. So I put my personal bet of my time and my job on the company, which I believed a lot on. And the thing that really impressed me was a few years later when I was in the company. Travis, the CEO at the time, one day showed us a picture. It was the Bernabeu Stadium. And he told us, look, every month we are creating so many job opportunities across the world, right?
Yeah.
Wow, we're really making an impact here. And
true.
What keeps you going, right? Like always having a motivation and inspiration in what you do makes you push harder than ever, makes you believe that the impossible is possible, right? But after some years, like the things were stuck in Europe because like we were facing a lot of regulatory challenges, and the ride sharing model was being shut down in all the cities, etc., etc. And so at that point, that's when I decided to move to Asia, right? And I could have stayed there, keep managing a business that was not really growing for 5 years. But that's where you have to think about where you want to be. If you stay here, are you going to get there or not, right?
True.
That's why I decided to move where the action is. I think, guys, you always need to put yourself, discuss what you're doing every single day. What am I doing? Is that the right thing to do to get where I want to be or not? If not,
true.
do something about it, right?
Yeah. I think the reflection is important, that what you're doing and what you thought and what you inspire, I think maybe connecting those are very important. Another question, Girish, he says, during the pandemic, how do you think you're managing the expectations of your restaurant partners? It's a very specific question,
Yeah, to be very honest, it was a very, very tough period, especially at the beginning, because restaurants had to, imagine, completely shut down their dine-in operations. And, we live in a world where usually for restaurants, 70% of the revenues come from dine-in and 30% come from delivery. For some more, for some less. But, this is more or less the world we live in, right? So losing 70% of your business overnight, for some much more, has been horrible. People, most of the times, like you have the big KFCs and McDonald's, they can survive through a pandemic, but you have a lot of mom and pop shops, right? That, they're family businesses. And it was very, very hard, to receive calls every day from these people that, we were worried about going bankrupt, etc. We worked very hard with the government to say, okay, can we do something for these guys, right? So what we did on our side, we spent throughout COVID, I don't know, many tens of millions of dollars in marketing to boost growth. So we offer free delivery across platform, across the markets to help the restaurants grow their volume through food delivery. We defer payments of their commission. So, our business model is a model where the restaurant gives us a commission for the orders we generate for them, right? So we didn't charge those commissions for 3 months, right? And we deferred payments in installments later on, like to help them with the cash flow. I think we really did everything we could, but also the relationship was very hard, and the expectations on the other side were a bit too much. They asked us to charge 0 commission, right? But we simply cannot do that, because the moment, say, we charge 25%, our profit out of that 25% can be something around 1%, right? Because we have to pay riders, we have to pay all our staff, we have to pay all the marketing money we invest in, we have to pay all the sales people, etc., right? So it's very, very little what we get in the pocket, right? And if you're interested in LinkedIn, I published an article some time ago that explains exactly what happens to that commission that the restaurant give us, like every single component, where does it go to, and why
it's interesting.
Makes so little money for every delivery, but we do a lot of deliveries, right? That's how we make money.
It's interesting. And I think there's next question is a takeaway from this question itself, which Kamal has asked, that do you see further slowdown in the consumer market, which is now moving forward? Going ahead, do you feel that there'll be slowdown continuing?
We're not seeing a lot of slowdown right now. Actually, we've been seeing kind of an acceleration, especially in the UAE in the last couple of months. But
Right.
what I would say that is driven mostly by affordability. So a lot of restaurants are providing discounts on the platform today to grow their volumes, and I think customers really appreciate that. But I think it's also good news because also the restaurants see that if the moment they provide a bit of incentives for the customer, their business can grow a lot, right? So it's also a bit of a wake-up call on the potential of the food delivery industry in the region, which I think has a lot of headroom to grow still.
That's interesting. Another question there, Sumeta is asking, I think you've already covered a lot of aspect to it, which is when you say future planning, when you're saying looking forward and performing and taking a feedback and planning for the future, what factors generally can be considered while planning for the future? It's a very broad question though. What factors do you think could be considered while planning for the future?
Okay, but I will tell you something I always tell my team, and they because I believe there are two types of people, right? So the first kind, and that became a motto at Talabat, and I'll tell you what the motto is. But the first kind are, you come with a problem, and you're like, oh man, I have this problem, I can't wait to solve it. So then life would be good, right? And there's a second type of people that know that you're always going to have problems, and also in the companies you're always going to have challenges and unplanned things you cannot plan for, but they have a hammer mindset that is like nail after nail. They just go one problem after the other and nail it down, knowing that there's always going to be more nails coming up, right? So the mindset is just nail down as much as you can, as fast as you can. And all of us have this inside of us, because if you think at babies, when they learn how they walk, at the beginning they fall, right? And then they have to stand up and then they fall, right? Imagine if a baby, the first time it falls, it will say, oh, I'm never going to be able to walk, right? So if that was the mindset, we would all be crawling right now. Still,
very true.
Because babies are so resilient, are so consistent. They keep standing up. No one tells them they will be able to walk, but they know in their head they will walk, right? And they keep trying and trying and trying, right? So the internal motto today is be a hammer with a baby. That's my mindset if you really want to plan for the unplanned, right?
Right. Interesting. I think one more question we can take. Fatima is asking a question. I think they are looking for something related to somebody like probably you started at a very young age and you experimented geographically and in terms of career. So when you started a website like Talabat, what would you suggest for the beginners take their step ahead?
Focus. So if you want to start a new company, you mean?
Maybe yes, maybe I think, yeah, that's what they're saying, website like Talabat. So yeah, I think in perspective for a smaller company or a company getting into e-commerce, something on those lines.
Yeah, I think the best way to succeed is to build a great product that customers love. And how to do that is really constantly seek for your customer feedback. Like always put your customers front and center. There are a lot of ways to do it. There are a lot of methodologies, a lot of books around it. One I like very much is one methodology called the Lean Startup Machine, which tells you exactly how to figure out what the problem is that you're trying to solve for which audience. So which is your audience you're solving the problem for.
Right.
What are the riskiest assumptions you're making? So you're saying, okay, these people have these problems and this is the solution. This is the solution if assumption A, B, C, D are true, right? And then through different steps of validation, this methodology helps you understand whether that's the right solution or not, and continuously pivot to find the right solution. The very key to success is to pivot as early as you can, right? And the best way to pivot as early as you can is to seek as much feedback as you can.
As we can, absolutely.
I always bring as an example the Iridium Project, that probably no one of you know what that is, but it's this satellite mobile network that was launched in the late 90s. And the idea was like a phone that could communicate through GPS signal instead of GSM signal, right? They shot in the air, like, I don't remember how many tens of satellites, and the whole project costed something like 10 billions. Then they went IPO and they went public before launching the product to the market. And the stock went from like $10 to $100, like it skyrocketed like crazy. The day they introduced the product to the market, the stock went from 100 to 1. And days later, a few months later, they went bankrupt. Why? Because no one wanted to buy their products because they were this big, right? And that's the age where, you know, we were having these super small flip phones, etc. No one liked the product; they were ugly. It was a over-engineered product that never sought any feedback from the customers, right? I think it's great to check out if you guys are interested.
Absolutely true. I think I think that answers a lot of questions to most of it is covered. I think one question we can take up, Ahood has been posted it quite many times. He said that it is related to cloud computing. Do you think that cloud kitchen, Talabat marketing future would be enabled through cloud computing? Because probably you mentioned about optimization and algorithms. So do you think it will be somewhere to that level where these computings will be applied?
I don't know to which extent, but today our all Talabat technology is on the cloud, right? So we have very minimal parts that are still hosted on physical servers, right? And not distributed networks. All our technology is in distributed networks, including all our cloud kitchen technology. I don't know if that was the question, if this answers the question.
Yeah, that's what she asked. So can you say more about cloud kitchen? Yeah, I think that serves the purpose. About marketing future, cloud computing, if it is linked with each other.
No, it's not necessarily linked to cloud computer. Cloud kitchen is just a name, but you know what it really means is these are spaces optimized for fast food preparation time. So a cloud kitchen is like imagine a 1,000 square meter room that inside of that has like a very, very small area. Each area is a restaurant, and inside of that you have like 50 restaurants, and maybe you have a pizza oven, and that pizza oven has 4 brands, and all those 4 brands are prepared in that same pizza oven with different dough, different recipes, etc. But the thing is that every single operational step inside the kitchen is optimized to prepare your food extremely fast, right? So that you can get really your food delivered in 15 minutes from a cloud kitchen versus 30, 40 minutes you would get from a normal restaurant. That's the concept.
That's wonderful. I think most of the points that you've covered, which is asked from different questions, it has been covered in all the answers. I think Nafi, your question, I think Tomaso has already answered. If it has resulted in increase and decrease of sales in Talabat pertaining to COVID, he's already answered that. I think before we now complete I would have one question. Apart from every efforts that you're putting in an organization and achieving much more, and talking from everything that was conventional and moving to a very contemporary approach, what is it that you look outside your work? This was all your work, this was all your strategies, this was all your so I'm sure many youngsters, many professionals who are right now as an audience want to know how a CEO is beyond work. That's what may be the last question for the day.
What do? I like reading a lot of business books. I think there are some books that are extremely inspiring, and a lot of the things I read I actually apply to my job every day. And people think I'm very smart, but actually I just read it in a book sometimes.
That's humbly.
And then other than that, I have hobbies like everyone, right? I play the piano. I like sailing. I like cycling.
Wow.
I go to Al Qudra very often. If you guys want to join, we can do a group. We have a Talabat group. We go together and cycle around the loop in Al Qudra now with the good.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. And
yeah,
I think same things as everyone else, right? The hobbies and friends and
wow.
this kind of stuff.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And just to quickly recall, and yes, firstly, because of some network glitches, I don't know what, I would still want to thank you for those wonderful sessions that you ran through. And I was getting through all the details in all your small and very succinct presentation. It was so insightful. I think the journey was talking about right from fintech to attractive prices, promotions. You covered everything, reaching out to the customers, taking the feedback. The most interesting part you mentioned was the transition from the e-commerce to Q-commerce and giving food for thought to beginners who are right there as an audience, to professionals who are very well established in their career and looking forward for the consumer-driven industry, and for, of course, the academicians and researchers. Everybody has something to benefit from your session today. So, as very well, I can summarize, if I'm right, responding, recovering, and thriving possibly would be the three important tools, considering them concurrently. So future of food industry with massive change in kitchens, sustainability of supply chain, getting everything to the expo next year. I'm sure many of us are looking forward to it. And from your insightful discussions, before we sign off, I think wonderfully applied you. The useful change is never employed effectively unless it is driven by high quality leadership and not just with excellent management. With this, I would extend a very warm thank you to you. Apologies for my technical glitch. Thank you to the audience for wonderful questions and for you being so humble, so grounded, and sharing every insight right from business to your personal hobbies. Thank you, Tomaso. It was wonderful being with you.
It's been an honor to be here, and thank you very much, Arpita. It was an amazing session, and all of you guys, amazing questions and insights and chats. I felt you were all very active, so thank you very much.
Yeah, true. They were all very, very interactive with lots of questions. Thank you, and everybody, please keep tuning in for webinar series. Much more to come in, and this is the only platform where we connect with academics and the industries together. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a very good day. Take care, please.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.